Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Absolutely not. There's one article. I think there's two articles here. One, trade Kayvon, while the iron's hot. I mean, it's like, well, you got Burns, you got Abdul Carter. What do you need a third guy for, right? Trade this guy. Trade him. Especially, some of it also might be like trade the guy while, because this year he's picked 5 in the draft, so he costs you some money, but his 5th-year option was picked up as well. So between those 2 years, you're not paying the guy, like an edge rusher. I don't know what he's going to wind up getting in the long run. Yeah, he's certainly not going to get $35 or $40 million. That ain't happening. But it'll be interesting to see what he does wind up settling for after his 5th-year option, season is over, going down the road. But you keep seeing it. It's like, trade him. I'm saying to trade. He was supposed to get traded. I forgot. There was like 2 or 3 teams that were supposed to get, trade him to this team, trade him to that team. It's like, absolutely not, man. You can never have too many edge rushers. It's like when we drafted Justin Tuck in the 3rd round of the 2005 draft. Did we trade Michael Strahan away? Well, we got Tuck. I mean, we just drafted Tuck. We don't need Strahan. Get rid of these. Get them on. Get them. No, you collect them. They're mine. My toys. You collect them. I mean, just look what the Eagles do. Right? They keep bringing in good edge rushers, guys who can rush the quarterback. Right? You can never have too many of them. Never. And I said, I mean, just think about what possibly happened, right? If you ever a point in time, you might have a Karake, right? And McFadden as the off-ball middle linebackers, whatever you want to call them. But then they got the front 4 of Carter, Kayvon, Burnsy, and Sexy. Those guys are healthy and all that, and they're all on this field. Same. Man. So absolutely freaking not. It's. So this one, I got, there's 2 articles here. NFL analyst believes the Giants should strike while the iron is hot and trade the former first-round pick. Absolutely not. ESPN calls for the Giants to trade Kayvon Thibodeaux before the season even starts. Once again, absolutely not. Especially for what the guys, for what you're paying the guy. I mean, this season. I mean, it's like a joke, an absolute joke. Giants now have 3 starting edge rushers for 2 spots after they drafted Abdul Carter to go along with Kayvon and Burnsy. Kayvon has 2 years left on his rookie contract, and he'll need an extension after the 2025 season. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But, well, no, not after. I mean, they picked up his 5th-year option. So, so they have him for 2 more years. The team won't want to pay him at the going price for starting edge rushers if he's not going to be starting. Well, who said he's not going to be starting? I mean, let's not forget. I mean, you don't know what they have in store for him. They might put Abdul Carter as the off-ball linebacker, right? After this season's over, maybe they don't bring back McFadden. Who knows? I don't know, but I mean, and then, but that gives them all kinds of ways they can move guys around and stuff like that, right? Yes, New York can use an edge rush rotation and get plenty of value out of him. It can create a NASCAR-style package where one of its edge rushers moves inside on 3rd down. But the Giants can also trade Kayvon to a contender that needs help on the edge, such as the Packers or the Lions, and probably get a day 2 pick in return. More draft capital will be a huge help for the 2026 team when they'll be trying to find as many strong offensive players as possible to build around Jackson Dart and wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need another weapon, but that's next year. The Giants selected Kayvon with the 5th pick in the 2022 draft. Over the past 3 years, he's appeared in 43 games and has been a starter in all of them. He's also recorded 21 sacks, so basically 1 sack every 2 games. with his career best season coming in 2023 when he recorded 11.5 sacks. 2023 is the only season Kayvon has played a complete season, having played in only 12 games in 2024 and 14 in 2022. Well, I mean, last year he had his wrist, I think it was. Other than that, he played in every game. Now, when he came back, he had his wrist all taped up and everything. That might have also hindered him somewhat as well. Now, with Burns and Carter clearly set to be the top edge rushers for the Giants in 2025, which changes Kayvon's role with the team going forward. He is too talented not to see the field at a higher rate. So I'm sure the Giants plan will be able to have a solid rotation of 3 to keep all fresh on games days, which I think would be a very smart plan and way to have one of the most talented edge groups in the NFL. They trade him now, they would probably get more in return than waiting to see how that fits in as a rotational piece. However, it's also significantly worsen their depth behind Carter and Burns. If either had to miss time for any reason, my guess is Kayvon will be on the roster come training camp, because if they were going to trade him, I think it would have come directly after the draft, when I'm sure teams around the league were calling them after they selected Carter. Yeah, that's true. But then this other one here, and I agree. No, the Giants should not trade outside linebacker Kayvon right now. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Kayvon hasn't quite reached the elite level as a pass rusher yet, but that doesn't mean the team should move on from him. Absolutely not. Now, honestly, he's picked number 5 in the draft. Would I have hoped that he'd be a little bit better? Yeah, I don't want to lie. Absolutely. Sure. But to me, he's been, he's been a model teammate. The guy, if he can play, he's playing, right? Once again, has he been super duper phenomenal? But, am I happy he's on the team? Absolutely. Do I still want him on? Absolutely. I mean, he's still young, right? Yeah, you're going to have to, somewhere along the line, you have to start paying the piper, right? He's going to want to get paid. It is what it is. You had him, by the time, his rookie deal's over, you have to have him for 5 years because they picked up his 5th-year option. He's going to want to get paid. It is what it is. But you have yourself a very good edge rusher, okay, on your team. Why do you want to let go of that? Right? So, you can never, one of the things that really, really helps, right, is that, if you have at least 3 edge rushers. Right? You don't want to have 2 edge rushers and then there's a drop off after that. We got Golston too, who can play on the outside as well too. Right? We got some guys who can rush the passer, no question. So, but if especially, he's on the cheap now. Keep the guy. Is it worth it to I don't want to say deplete, but really hurt your edge rush position to maybe get a draft pick next season? Because then you really could use to get another edge rusher. See, we're not saying that now, right? Right? Giants need an edge rusher. No, I don't hear that anymore. Giants need a quarterback. Nope, don't hear that either. Giants need a number 1 wide receiver. Yep, nope, I don't hear that either. Giants got themselves a defense. Giants have a lot of things going for them. They got to win some games, right? Because you can say they got this and they got that until you're blue in the face, but until they win some games, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? But the Giants are starting to build the teams, right? We don't need any edge rushers. We have edge rushers, right? So if you got edge rushers, don't get rid of one, because then the Giants could use another edge rusher. That's all you're going to hear, right? Well, you don't hear that now. I said we got 3, and we got Golston too, who can put on the edge too, right? Retired Giants general manager Ernie Corsi once came under fire for a decision he made during the 2006 NFL draft. Yep, Mr. Matthias Kiwanuka, which eventually proved to be a smart move. You're absolutely damn right. Of course, who already had future Hall of Fame defensive end Michael Strahan and youngsters Justin Tuck and Osi Umenyiora as part of his pass rushing arsenal, traded down 7 spots in the first round of the draft to acquire another edge rusher by the name of Mathias Kiwanuka. When asked about the decision to draft Kiwanuka, of course, he famously told reporters that a team could never have too many pass rushers. And how did that work out in Super Bowl 42, huh? Pretty good. He was proven correct as the Giants with at least 3 deep pass rushing group that, after Strahan retired, would eventually include JPP. Right? Because we had OC, we had JPP, we still had Mathias, and we had Tuck. Right? So we had eventually had JPP for the 2011 championship run, proved repeatedly that a pass rush was a team's most effective defense against top signal calls. Now the thing was that it was things were a little bit different because in Super Bowl 42, I believe we had 5 sacks against Brady. Plus we hit him a bunch. Super Bowl 46, we had 2 sacks, both by Justin Tuck. One was like almost on the first play of the game, and one was on almost the last play of the game. Yeah, but in between there, we had no sacks. Right? We had the guys out there. We had JPP out there. We had Tuck. I had OC. We had Q. Nobody was getting any sacks. But what made the difference in that 2007/2008, whatever you want, after the 2007 Super Bowl 42, what made the difference in the Super Bowl 42 was we had that pass rush. And if Brady wasn't getting sacked, he was getting hit. I said that wasn't the case in 46. He had the 1 sack. Tuck had the 1 sack, I think, when Brady threw the incomplete pass over the middle that caused for the safety. And then at the end of the game, Tuck went in and sacked Brady, which brought up whatever the hell. It was a 3rd down and 20 or 4th down and 20, whatever it was. And then, of course, Brady completes the pass. The next play, it keeps the drive going. But, Super Bowl 46, we had not much of a pass rush. Let's see. Having seen what having multiple pass rushers can do for a team, Shane, and you don't even need to look. Look what the Giants did back, 15, 20. Look what the Eagles are doing. Right? I mean, they bring. One of the things that with Patrick Mahomes says, but when he retires, he's going to go down obviously as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Certainly top 5, if not the top. He's got a long way to go. Not sure how many Super Bowls he's going to wind up winning, but he's got a long way to go. But the 2 times he got totally smoked was against the Bucs. He had, I think, 2 of his it might have been both of his tackles were out, but he was running for his life against the Bucs. They had a good pass rush. Whole game he was running for his life. They scored 3 field goals. Now, you hold a Kansas City offense, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid calling plays, Kelsey, I think Hill might have been on the team. You hold that team to 3 field goals. I mean, holy cow. Well, I said, his offensive line was really decimated, but he was running for his life every play. Well, same thing as past Super Bowl. So I heard. I read. I didn't watch it. I'm not going to watch the Eagles win a Super Bowl. Not happening. Well, I absolutely. My life depended upon it. I'm not sitting there watching the Eagles win a Super Bowl. Not happening. But so I read and stuff like that. The Eagles had a good rush on. So, right? It's a copycat league. Unless you're unbelievably dynamic where you can come up with something fresh, brand new out of the box and it starts working really well, it's a copycat league. Right? Look what the Eagles did. They need they got a pass rush. That helps. That helps minimize the other team's offense. Right? So you don't even have to look back to the 2007 Giants. Right? Despite history having proven that a team can never have too many pass rushers, there remains a steady flow of opinions that the Giants should consider trading Kayvon, who has 2 years remaining on his rookie deal, so the team can get Carter on the field for every snap. Trading Kayvon now does not make sense. The narrative to trade Kayvon, who finished 16th in ESPN's pass rush win rate, 17%, among edge rushers last season, 16th. Originated when, thanks to an injury-shortened 2024 season, the 5th overall pick in the 2022 draft didn't come close to replicating his 11.5 sacks from the year prior. Well, the year prior he played in every game. This past season he was injured. He missed 5 games. So if he played in those 5 games, maybe he got another 2 sacks. Would he have 6.5 sacks or something? So he would have, 7, 8 sacks, maybe 8.5 sacks. I don't know, 9 sacks maybe. It would have been close, right? The idea gained further momentum after the team drafted Carter, a player who some believe will have to share snaps with Kayvon and Burns in certain personnel packages. More importantly, it's believed that because Kayvon is still on his rookie contract, he will make an affordable pass rushing option for a competitor willing to send the Giants, who are not projected to have any comp picks next year, at least one premium draft pick. Day 2, second round pick. The problem with this thinking is that the Giants are looking to turn their sinking ship around and are not yet in position where they can afford to let emerging talent walk out the door. Well, I mean, the one thing is with that is that, they're trying to turn things around, and obviously, once again, hindsight's always 20/20. So when you got a talent on your team, you don't want to let them go, especially when it doesn't cost you a lot, like Saquon, right? We paid him, dude, $15 million. He'd still be on the team. I'm sure we could have found $15 million somehow. Anyway, let's not go down there. Right? Kayvon, also already mentioned, is still affordable to keep for this year and next, considering pass rushers can get upwards of $20 million average per year. While there is no question about Kayvon having not broken into the upper echelon of pass rushers, it's fair to wonder how much injuries have had to do with that. Kayvon got off to a slow start as a rookie due to a preseason knee injury. Yet a dude came in and took his knee out, right, against the Bengals. The following year, he stayed healthy and had his first double-digit sack season. And then last year, a wrist issue that landed him on the IR took quite a bite out of his potential production. Having 3 legitimate pass rushers gives defensive coordinator Shane Bowen some options. It's a really good problem to have, Bowen said during the team's OTAs. Got 3 really good players, 3 really talented players, 2 of them that have done it in the league at a high level. Ultimately, we want to get our best 11 on the field, whatever way we got to maneuver to do that. We got to find ways to get the guys that can impact the game on the field. While Bowen and his staff figure out how to make that happen, and one possible way is to tap into Carter's experience as an off-ball linebacker, Kayvon admittedly faces a bit of a year ahead. It's thought that he's likely to see more solo blocks, while Burns and Sexy Dexy figure to see more double-team efforts. If Thibodeaux can shed and be disruptive against solo blocks, that would help solidify his case for a big payday down the line. Yeah, so, this is also helping, him, right? If he can get on the field with all those good talents, right? Who are you going to double team? You got to double team Sexy, and they might have to double team Burn. You can only double team so many guys. So if it frees him up for some one-on-ones, his sack might go up, and so might his pay go up, right, when he's ready for a new contract. But until such time, having optimal pass rushing options could very well be a secret weapon for the Giants, who face a difficult slate of opponents this year that includes some of the most potent offenses from last season. Oh yeah, I mean, it's like basically, it's like a who's who. But then they also talk about, what if this season fall apart? Should the Giants season fall apart, the cries to trade Kayvon will again start to grow louder. But in all honesty, while there might be a temptation to clean house in that scenario at some point, one has to define those players who are part of the core foundation. Kayvon, at least for the time being, is part of that foundation. While there might come a day when he becomes too expensive to re-sign, that's not necessarily something the Giants need to worry about right now, as if they look to get the roster back on the right track. Yeah, I mean, you can never have too many edge rushers, right? And as I said, for the next 2 seasons, he's relatively cheap. Now, the one thing is that obviously they got him for this year. They got it for next year. Next year, they don't have a ton of salary cap space. They got some. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they only got $3 million. No, they got some, right? But he's on the books for next season, all right? And with him on the books, they still have some salary cap space. In 2027, they have like 150 or 160. Now, they don't have a whole team signed. I mean, they got to bring some guys in. Yeah, they got a couple draft classes and all that. But in 2027, I mean, they have like over $150 million to spend. They got a lot of money to spend. Okay, so they could theoretically keep Kayvon, pay him, I don't know, whatever, $20 million a year, if that's what he wants. If that's what, I don't know. These next 2 seasons with Carter is going to be very telling. You know, look what Kayvon gets with Carter on the field. You know, we can get 10, 12 sacks out of Kayvon. You know, so he's, you know, the dude's. You know, we keep Carter on Kayvon, right? And we still got Burnsy. Right, we got Burns for at least another 3 years, right? But you figure if we keep Kayvon and he does well with Burns and Carter on, you know, I mean, 20 million, I don't know, somewhere out, but we'll have the money to re-sign him. We will have the money to re-sign him. So, but we'll have to wait. But we have him for 2 more years. So, I mean, and he's going to do nothing but help the defense. So why get rid of him? Right.